also called polar light, northern light, or southern light, is a natural light display in the sky. They are usually seen in the high latitudes, Arctic and Antarctic regions. Auroras are produced when the Earth's magnetosphere is distributed by the solar wind. An aurora around the North Pole is called the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. Around the South Pole, it is the Aurora Australis or Dawn of South or Southern Lights. It can be seen from long distance, stretching in the sky many hundreds of miles far. Auroras can happen at any time. However, they can only be seen at night because their light is not as strong as the light of day. Faint stars can even be seen through the aurora. Many legends are associated with the aurora in all countries where this phenomenon regularly occurs. An aurora occurs when the sun sends off small particles in space. These particles are mainly electrons with charge and energy, which means they contribute to electricity. Earth has a protective shield of energy around it. This is called the magnetic field and forms an elongated sphere around the Earth called the magnetosphere. The Earth's magnetic fields keeps off most of the solar wind. In high latitude areas, the magnetic field is vertical. It does not keep off particles of the solar wind, which can come from the magnetosphere and hit the particles of the air. When they hit, the atmosphere is heated and excited, and the excess energy gets away, a phenomenon which we see as moving lights in the sky above 100 km altitude typically. An aurora can be especially bright following a solar flare and coronal mass ejection when the charged particles rip through the electromagnetic field because of their power. Auroral phenomena have been observed on the other planets that have a magnetic field, such as Jupiter, Saturn, and more recently Mars. It is believed to be a widespread phenomenon in the solar system and beyond. Sometimes the aurora disappears when it's at heights of between 200 km to 300 km above the Earth's surface. If you had to look at the aurora, you would see that it looks like moving ribbons of light, which is awesome to see. This is because the particles of plasma are moving due to the Earth's magnetic field. The best place to see the Aurora Borealis is in Alaska, USA in the winter when it is in darkness 24 hours a day. Wow! In Europe, you can also get a good sighting in Tromsø, Norway, and the city of Murmansk on the Kola Peninsula of Russia. The best place to see the Aurora Australis is in Antarctica in the winter months, if you are prepared for one chilly holiday. If the Aurora Australis is strong, then it can be seen in Tasmania, Australia, and Stewart Island off the southern coast of New Zealand. The aurora is really strong when solar storms flare up on the surface of the sun and it spreads further away from the Earth's poles. This is amazing. In 1989, the Aurora Borealis could be seen as far south as Florida, USA, and the island of Cuba. It must have been seriously strong. This is cool. Astronauts on duty in the International Space Station that orbits our planet at a height of 370 km above the Earth are actually level with the Aurora Borealis. Well, maybe you should become an astronaut to see this. Norwegian scientist Christian Birkeland was the first to explain the source of the aurora, and by his discovery, a new field of science was created, the Sun-Earth connection. The term for the northern lights Aurora Borealis was derived from the Roman goddess of dawn Aurora and the Greek name for the north wind Boreas. There is some debate, however, as to who was the first to name them, French astronomer Pierre Gassendi or Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei. Captain James Cook named the same phenomenon in the southern hemisphere, Aurora Australis, following his voyage of discovery to the Antarctic in resolution. Australis is derived from the Latin word meaning southern. The most common aurora colors are red and green. The colors of the polar lights depend on whether electrons collide with oxygen or nitrogen and how energetically. Oxygen emits greenish yellow or red light, while nitrogen generally gives off blue light. The blending of these produces purple, pink, and white. Our night vision is most sensitive to green light, so we are more likely to see the oxygen green line emissions. Nitrogen auroras are sometimes blue or a mixture of blue and red. Some nitrogen aurora emissions are in the ultraviolet part of the spectrum, which we can't see.
ഈ വീഡിയോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക, ഈ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. വീണ്ടും മറ്റൊരു വീഡിയോ വരുന്നത് വരെ ബൈ.